This is the real liver specimen of long-term drinking. Is long-term drinking really a chronic suicide? First of all, the conclusion is that alcohol has long been listed as a Class I carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer, and the world's authoritative medical journal The Lancet has also pointed out that the statement that quality drinking is good for the body does not exist at all. Even a small amount of alcohol will have an impact on health. So how does alcohol harm the human body? Why is it more difficult to quit drinking than quitting smoking? When the wine enters the human body, the alcohol will adhere to the oral mucosa. Once the alcohol volatilizes, will take away most of the water in the mouth. Your mouth will feel unusually dry. When the wine enters the stomach along the esophagus, alcohol will destroy the protective layer of the stomach wall, making the gastric mucosa more susceptible to damage. Without this layer of protection, at that time, all kinds of stomach-related problems will come to the door. About 5 minutes later, 20% of the alcohol will enter the blood through the blood vessels of the stomach wall, and the alcohol will flow quickly with the blood to all parts of the body. Because the blood flow of the brain is relatively rich, so the alcohol will soon cross the brain's diarrheal brain barrier to suppress the nervous system. You will feel a slight drunkenness. This is the reason why drunkenness occurs so soon after drinking. The key: alcohol is toxic to the nervous system, especially in people who drink alcohol for a long time. Alcohol can damage the neurons in the brain, and it may eventually cause some areas of the brain to shrink. But if you drink on an empty stomach, the alcohol will be absorbed faster without food neutralization, and you will get drunk faster. After about 20 minutes, the remaining 80% of the alcohol will flow to the small intestine and into the blood circulation system through the epithelial cells of the intestinal wall, and then begin to spread to the organs and tissues of the whole body. At this time, almost 100% alcohol will attack the brain, and your drunkenness will begin to gradually worsen after about 30 minutes. Under the effect of blood circulation, the alcohol will slowly flow to the liver, in order to quickly metabolize the alcohol. The liver first converts alcohol into acetaldehyde through enzymes, but acetaldehyde is a more toxic substance than alcohol. It may cause damage to liver cells. As long as the timeline is long enough, it may cause various liver-related problems, and the key is that some damage is irreversible. After many metabolizations, acetaldehyde is eventually converted into acetic acid and excreted from the body, but it generally takes 24 hours to completely metabolize alcohol. This is the reason why drunk driving can be detected the next day after drinking at night. But if you drink in the case of staying up late, then the liver is injured, because the liver itself cannot be detoxified and repaired in the state of staying up late, and the liver has to work overtime to metabolize alcohol. Not to mention that humans are not tired. Even if the machine is working hard, it will smoke. According to a survey released by the international top journal The Lancet, about 3 million people die of alcoholic liver disease every year in the world, and among the 619 people in China, about 123 million people are caused by excessive drinking and liver damage. So if you cannot drink, try not to drink. So why is it more difficult to quit alcohol than to quit smoking? First of all, tobacco mainly stimulates the brain through nicotine to produce dopamine, so that you feel happy. So when quitting smoking, we only need to get rid of this single substance. However, alcohol is to inhibit the activity of the central nervous system to make people feel calm and relaxed. Long-term drinking will cause the brain to have adapted to this inhibition effect. Once the nervous system of the brain will be overexcited, so that there is a more violent stage than quitting smoking, and the reaction may be life-threatening, which is why heavy drinkers generally have to go to the hospital to quit drinking. And quitting alcohol also involves a layer of cultural issues, especially in the workplace, business, entertainment. Some people may also bring out a moral kidnapping that does not drink and does not give face, and can only be forced to drink in the end. So it is more difficult to quit drinking than to quit smoking. So do you dare to continue drinking after watching the video?